here's a little journey sideways. How can Ayurveda help with the political situation and the energies out there right now? So I am trained in Ayurveda and I almost never use it. I'm actually a certified Ayurvedic practitioner. Who knew? But what I do know is that it is so important when there's an imbalance in the body to balance it out, right? And we talk about the doshas and all that kind of stuff, right? But what's happening right now is we're all feeling this heaviness, right? Which we would call kapha dosha, right? In Ayurveda, this kind of really heavy, exhausted, slow, sluggish, like, there's a little of that fiery pitta thrown in there too, but it's mostly this like, oh my God, another thing. I'm just slow, sluggish, overwhelmed, bleh, right? So in Ayurveda, what we would recommend is doing things that are the opposite of that to balance out the energy. And it's not as silly as you think. And I have a story at the end about it and how it actually was very effective in my very hometown fighting against Yahtzees. So I'll get there. Hang on. But okay, if we're feeling kind of gross, then if we eat and slow and sluggish, then we eat light foods, healthy foods. You can look up a whole list of vata foods or kapha balancing foods if you want to, Kapha. But we move with a lightness. We laugh. We watch funny things. We use a humorous approach to some things that are heavy, or we just fill our own energy field with lightness, light, right? It's not just about bringing the light in this, like, I'm beaming out my light of everything, compassion, and blah, 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 blah. It's also about dancing like a lunatic. It's also about putting on some, fun music. It's about watching comedies and literally laughing, right? Because while we are going to go out there and use all of that good fire and other energies to make change and do our calls and do the stuff and fight the good fight, we also have to have an air about us of lightness to balance out the heaviness and the darkness, right? So here's the story. So I live in Montana, and I don't know if any of you remember, but there was a certain person who was getting doxxed by a certain Yahtzee group, and the Yahtzees were coming to like take over the town and march and do the whole thing, right? And so they got defeated by activists coming up and making fun of them and wearing clown costumes and handing them like fake flowers and being ridiculous and being like, oh, look how big and scary you're trying to be. Oh no. And like teasing them and making fun of them. And I swear to you, that's what stopped it. That's what drove it out, was these ridiculous clown posse activists and people who were marching and singing and being ridiculous, right? They were like, oh, they're not taking us seriously, guys. And they left. So just putting it out there. Maybe when you're not doing the fighting the good fight stuff, you dance, you boogie down, you laugh, you're silly, you loosen up a little. And try eating some lighter foods and things like that. It couldn't hurt. Interesting, huh? We got this. I promise.